You're listening to Betty in Birmingham, Book 6 in the Standup Lie Down collection. Written by Chastity Veldt. Narrated by Ken B. Erotic. Published by Horsemen Publishing Incorporated. Copyright Chastity Veldt in 2021. All rights reserved. Chapter 1. Is there anything else I can get you, hon? Jake Nilsen looked up from his book at the woman standing next to his table, holding a pitcher. It was a Wednesday afternoon, and Jake was reading an old Rex Stout paperback novel. Finished with his lunch at a small cafe called French's, he decided it was time to move on. "I'm sorry," said Jake. "Do you have a to-go cup by chance? I'd love to take some sweet tea with me, and maybe the check?" The woman, her name tag reading Kelly, returned with a styrofoam cup. "That's good tea, isn't it?" she asked. "We make some of the best sweet tea in the city." "Well, this is my first time in Birmingham, and it's definitely the best tea I've had." "I could tell you were a first-timer," said Kelly. "Really? How so?" "'Cause you said Birmingham, like you're British. We say Birmingham." "Oh, okay," said Jake. "So where are you from?" "I grew up in Minnesota, but now I'm a stand-up comic and I travel a lot." "Are you in town for a show?" "Yup, I'm headlining for 3 nights at Chip's Comedy Club." Kelly pulled a black folder from her apron pocket and set it on the table. "I know Chip's. My cousin, Jerry, is a bartender there. I might have to come and see the show." "Are you performing tonight?" "No, just tomorrow night, Friday, and Saturday. I just came into town a day early because I didn't have anything booked for tonight. So I thought I'd come hang out and check out a couple of bookstores." "Have you been in to read books yet?" Jake held up his Rex Stout novel. "You bet. That was the first place I went to, and I got a few Rex Stout novels. A friend of mine owns a bookstore in Milwaukee, and she made me promise to stop in there as soon as I got into town." Jake flashed back to last week's phone conversation with Molly Moser, a friend and lover from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. The two had discussed her new relationship with Tad Aykroyd, a tax attorney she had started dating at the insistence of her Aunt Judy. As they talked, Jake mentioned where he was heading for his next gig, and Molly half shouted in his ear, "Oh, you have to check out Read Books. That's an amazing bookstore. Jesus, do you know every bookstore in the country?" "Maybe," Molly mumbled. "I always like to go on little vacations with my book nerd friends, and we check out bookstores. Besides, Tad says I can call it a buying trip and write it off on my taxes." Jake snapped his attention back to Kelly. "So anyway, my friend turned me on to Rex Stout, and I found a few novels I haven't read yet." "I've heard of him, I think," said Kelly. "What's he write?" "He wrote the Nero Wolfe mysteries in the 30s and 40s. "Ah, okay. That's how I know him. I prefer Stephen King and Erica Lance myself," said Kelly. "Horror stuff." Jake grimaced. "I can't stand horror novels," he said, shuddering. "They give me nightmares, and I jump at every little noise in the room. It's worse when I'm on the road and staying in some apartment I've never been to before. Every noise is some kind of killer clown coming to kill me." Kelly laughed. "Yeah, I can see that. They're not for everyone. Well, I've got customers to serve, but I hope I can make it to your show, Jake. Thanks for coming in." "Thank you," said Jake. He stuck a 30 into the check folder and handed it back to Kelly. "Keep the change." "Thank you, honey. Come back soon." Jake climbed into his pickup and drove a few miles to Chip's and parked in the parking lot behind the club. He climbed out of the truck and locked it, stopping to double-check the lock on the bed lid, too. He had an aluminum weather-tight lid installed so he could carry his luggage and a few of his favorite items, like a plastic tub filled with books. Locking it with the same key fob that locked his truck, he headed into the club. In his day job, Jake was a real estate investor who'd made quite a lot of money buying dilapidated homes and turning them into rental properties for college students. He did stand-up comedy as a hobby because it gave him a chance to drive around the country and do what he really loved, making people happy. It also meant he could afford high-tech security for a 7-year-old Toyota Tacoma pickup. "Hi, I'm looking for the owner," said Jake. "She's in the office back there," said the guy, pointing across the room at a door marked private. He went back to drying a glass and didn't look up from his task. "Are you Jerry?" asked Jake. "Who wants to know?" The bartender looked up. He was short and wiry and had tattoos on both arms. Jake looked around to see if there was anyone else in the room. "Well, I do." "Yeah, and who are you?" Jake leaned in conspiratorially. "Who wants to know?" "Jesus Christ!" exclaimed the bartender. "Whoa, seriously? You know Jesus? And he was asking about me? God damn it. Everyone's got to be a damn comedian." "Actually, I am a comedian. I'm the headliner this weekend."
Sample complete. Ready to continue?